Hello TJ, so this is the response to your Is Slut Shaming Wrong video, which I watched it late last night, and I think your video is really interesting because I've never heard a counter argument, I guess, in favor of being able to slut shame that was put out in this way, I guess. How do I respond to that? I mean, okay, so first of all, okay, this is kind of my summary of what you were saying in the video. You were basically saying that, of course, everyone has a right to free speech and to be able to say whatever they want. And so, of course, if people want to slut shame, they should be able to do that based on that. But also, it's good because people can basically prove each other wrong in the sense that, like, okay, if people think that you're a slut, if they say something, that you can then have the opportunity to refute what they're saying and show them that you are not a slut. And like by having slut shaming be allowed, like all of that underlying tension and stigma that would be there would then be like just out in the open, because it'd be like, hey, you're a slut, and it'd be like, hey, no, I'm actually not a slut. That's kind of my understanding of your video. I apologize if that's not what you were saying. But I think you kind of missed some of the grander points of slut shaming, not just talking about it in like a legal sense or in the sense of having freedom and rights and stuff. I think it's more, the question of slut shaming is more of a, should we as a culture accept the idea that women are sluts if they do X, Y, and Z? And I'm not so sure that your video really addresses that or makes an argument against that. And you know, I do think slut shaming is bad because I think it ends up contributing to really negative, sexist, sex negative ideas. And it contributes or comes from a patriarchal idea of what women are supposed to be like and how women are supposed to behave. And, you know, a lot of it too is because our society is so fucking puritanical, and anything that really has to do with sex is demonized, and women are kind of seen as like the gatekeepers of, oh, they're supposed to be the ones to control men's sexual desires, and if they have sex, it's always the woman's fault. It never falls on the shoulders of men. And you know, and I think slut shaming is wrong because of how it contributes to that. And also, you know, it contributes to rape culture too, because a lot of people justify raping people by saying, oh, she was a slut, or oh, she was asking for it. And even it perpetuates some of the ideas like you can consent under the influence of alcohol, which is not true. And it just really contributes in a negative way to stuff like that. And I think that even having a term like slut, no matter if you are talking about guys, which like never happens, but if you are, or if you're talking about girls, because I think the whole term is repressive, and I think it oppresses people's sexuality and tells them, okay, this is how you're supposed to be sexual. It doesn't let people just decide for themselves and have freedom and stuff, which I know is, of course, a huge value of yours, and I think pretty much everyone is pro-freedom. And I think just being able to control your own body and your own decisions and your own sexuality is really important. And I think that when we have a term like slut, it's degrading and it's negative, and it says, okay, this is how you're supposed to behave, and this is how you're supposed to dress, and this is how you're supposed to have sex, and this is who you're supposed to have sex with, this is when you're supposed to have sex. Like, it puts all of these regulations on sex, and it's really a policing method. So, I don't know, I just thought I would throw some of that out there. I would love to hear what you think in response to that. And I know you are kind of turned off by feminism, and slut shaming kind of comes from feminist ideology, but not all feminism is bad. And you like Britney, and she's a feminist, and, you know, it depends on, I think, the degree of feminism and whether or not your views are hypocritical or repressive of other genders. So, okay, that's going to be it. I will see you later, and thanks so much for watching this if you did. And bye, everyone.